hosting the U Sports and CCAA National Championships here. And we are in day 2. And we've got I think, a really good matchup coming up here between the University of Alberta Golden Bears and the Memorial University Seahawks. I am joined by Gio Wright. And Gio, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me up here. Excited.
So as you can see, the Golden Bears are just finishing their practice, and they are about to throw their last shot draws to determine hammer. Memorial threw first. They had one at the back of the forefoot by Nick Codner, and then Braden Snow threw one and just bit the front of the 12-foot. So I would say the door is open for Alberta on the last shot draw to get hammer in the first hand.
Please deliver your draw with a clockwise rotation.
So practice is over, and they will now throw their last shot draws. The way it works in Curl Canada events is each team has 2 players selected to throw the last shot draws. One will throw an out turn, one will throw an in turn, or counterclockwise and clockwise, as Curl Canada likes to say. And each player on a team has to throw at least 3 draws during the course of the event. So you can't just have the same 2 players throw every time.
And this has become a more important part of the game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially in an 8-end game, getting hammer in the first end, the stats show that the team with hammer at this level is probably going to win about 58, 59% of the time. So it's very important to get hammer in the first end. And that's a great start by Zach Davies, right on the tee line. Just a little bit of an under curl. I did the commentary this morning, Gio, on this same sheet, and it was a lot straighter than yesterday's games.
Oh, than yesterday's?
Yeah. And I think it may have something to do with the change in the weather, but they certainly were not getting the same curl, and especially that shot that Alberta just played, that in-turn coming home, a lot of under curls on that.
On that side this morning, even.
Yeah. So Alberta in pretty good shape to get last shot draw. They really just have to hit the rings here, but they also want to try to get as close to the pin as possible, because the cumulative last shot draw numbers are one of the key factors in the tiebreaker formula. So it's very important to get your last shot draws numbers very low. Becomes really important as we get to the end of the week as a tiebreaker.
We've seen that in the highest level come down to that.
Absolutely. So the second for Alberta is Will Butler, and he's going to throw the second last stone draw. He's going to throw the out turn. Will, interestingly enough, is from Newfoundland. So he is very familiar with the members of the Memorial team.
First thought was light.
And I got 15.6 on the hog-to-hog split on that, so that's going to be really close to the pin. Great shot.
Covering it.
Yeah, covering the pin. So Alberta will get hammer, and that's going to really help them out in the cumulative last shot draw stats as well. So yeah, more on that. Will Butler from Kippens, Newfoundland, and went to Edmonton to go to the University of Alberta and play in the Bears curling program. But he says that he curled with Simon Perry and Nick Codner from the Memorial team in juniors, and is good friends with all of these guys. So I think for all of them, the Memorial guys said the same thing. It was good to see Will. So talking to the coaches of these two teams before the game, both of them said that these teams play together all year. They play together in men's and in juniors as well. The Memorial team already has won the Newfoundland Junior Championship this year and will be going to the U20 Nationals later in March. And same with the Alberta team. They play together all year. They play men's curling together, and it's a little bit unusual actually for a U Sports or a CCAA team to play together all year. A lot of them are made up of players from different men's or women's teams, and they come together just to play U Sports together. But I think it is a huge advantage for these two teams to be so familiar with each other and to play together all year. And for that reason, I honestly think that this matchup is probably going to be a key matchup for this week, because I think both of these teams have a very good chance at winning this championship. The Memorial team finished third last year. They won the bronze medal. And it goes without saying that the University of Alberta program is certainly probably the most admired program in U Sports. They have had so much success and churned out so many top-level elite curlers, and it just continues. If you look at the Alberta men's program, Brendan Botcher, Ryan Jakes, Karsten Sturmey, Johnson Tao, and going back even further, so many good both men's and women's teams coming out of that University of Alberta program. Both of these teams won their first game, so they're both 1-0 going into this game.
It's always good to start 1-0.
So this is the first time, Geo, that the U Sports and CCAA championships have been held together. And I know you're on the organizing committee.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. Like this is a huge event. There are 32 teams, 16 men and 16 women, and the Cali Curling Club has hosted a lot of great events. But this one, I think, is really, really good for the community, and it's good for these players. How has it been organizing something like this?
It's been fun over the past year. A lot of our committee is actually old curlers from the Cougars program. So it was nice to reconnect with some of them and plan this event out and kind of have our vision of what we wanted when we were playing with the team, and kind of see it come to life has been great.
It is great, and it's actually great for me to see so many young people like you, and like you said, former Cougar players who have come back and contributed to this organizing committee, and it's just really good to see so many young people on volunteering for this.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the sports gave us a lot, so it's time for us to give the sport something back.
Yeah, well, good for you. The Memorial lead is Carter Holden, and he is going to try to throw a guard to start things out, or they might be just trying to come into the rings.
Looks like they're going to scoot in there.
One thing we noticed in this morning's game is a lot of overthrows on draws in the first end. The It seems as though it quickens up considerably at the end of practice and into the first end, and the players just weren't making that much of an adjustment on that. The Alberta lead is Adam Nogler. He's playing a soft weight hit on that, so it looks like we're going to have a pretty open first end.
Appears to be that way.
Carter Holden playing a hit. And that sticks around. Okay, so now Alberta is going to go a little bit on the offensive. That rock is off the center line. They feel that they can play a freeze and take a chance on getting a soft deuce here without taking too many risks. So Adam Nogler will play the intern draw. The University of Alberta team are from all over the place. Adam Nogler from Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Will Butler is from Newfoundland. The third, Ronan Peterson, is from Oakbank, Manitoba, and the skip, Zach Davies, from Edmonton. And it's actually not that unusual for a University of Alberta team for that to be the case. They recruit hard, and it's a very attractive program for young curlers to go to. They get great instruction, really good coaching, and you know, you just look at the success and the number of good players that program has churned out. I can certainly see why players from all over Canada want to go there. So a really good freeze by Nogler, and now Memorial basically just playing a blast.
And they got it.
Yeah, very good shot by Braden Snow. That was not an easy shot. So Alberta now will throw a corner guard, and this is, I guess, what you would call a delayed corner. They didn't throw the corner guard when there was a rock in the rings, but now it's a little bit safer. And this is the Newfoundlander, Will Butler. That's pretty good. And Simon Perry doesn't want to have anything to do with these corner guards. He's committed to playing a very open end here, and he will be okay with Alberta getting a blank in this end.
There we go. Goes away.
Yeah, a couple of big weight hits by Braden Snow. Obviously very comfortable throwing hard, and based on what we saw in those two, very accurately with big weight. Another good corner guard. And now we'll see Nick Codner, the third for Memorial. So I remember seeing Nick Codner a few years ago. He was a fifth player in the Brier, and got into a game, and I think he was only like 16 years old. And seeing him now here at this championship, he looks a little different. He's all grown up. This is Ronan Peterson, the Alberta third. He's going to throw a corner guard to the other side. They're going to try to give a little bit of a different look to Memorial. And actually, it looks like they're coming right in. They decided this is the best way for us to ensure that we get a shot at a blank here. Oh, wow, he just ticked it. And, you know, it didn't look to me like Codner threw that one badly at all. That is just such a straight spot. And one thing we have noticed here in previous games on this sheet is there is more movement from the middle to the wings than there is from the outside in. We've seen a lot of misses broomside on hits out there in the wing, especially the ones from the outside in. So this opens the door for Alberta to turn this blank into a deuce. And Ronan Peterson will just split the rings. Very good shot. There may be a double there for Simon Perry. He'd have to throw it really hard. That's a very flat double. Yeah, and
Looks like he's going for it.
Well, he might be. Where he's got the broom, I'm thinking he might just be playing a hit and roll over there, but we'll see. No, looks like he's going for the double. He's throwing this pretty hard.
We have it.
Wow, that is a great shot. That was not an easy shot. Very flat double. Got a 7.1 on the watch on that, so that rock was thrown pretty hard. And the Alberta team might be a little bit kicking themselves for leaving that rock where it was. If they had swept that, you know, even 3 inches further, that double would not be there. And they were a little bit casual in the sweep as they came in over the hog line. So this is a good aggressive call by Zach Davies. He could just hit that rock and play for the blank, but it's behind the tee line. He's got a pretty good feeling about what this is going to do, and he's going to play a freeze and try to generate a deuce that way. Just a little bit heavy. Bump that rock not quite through. So it's going to give Simon Perry a chance to hit and stick and maybe get a force out of this. You can see Coach Glenn Goss for Memorial University in the background there. As you can see, the coaches do sit out on the ice here at the Cali Club. Rob Krebs is the University of Alberta coach. He's sitting just to the left of Glenn there. Nicholas Codner really trying to carve this one to get it to curl. And that's a very good shot. Alberta's going to face two. So one of the interesting things, Gio, about the coaches being out on the ice there is the Curl Canada rules changed. Actually, the World Curling rules changed this year, so that you can confer with your coach during the game, as long as it's not your turn to shoot. When the other team is shooting, you may talk to your coach behind the sheet, and it does change a little bit the dynamic, and I think it's actually a really good rule change, because curling is one of the few sports where coaches are not talking to players during the game. And I think it's good for the sport, and I think it is going to change the way that coaches interact with players.
Oh, for sure. When I was curling, that wasn't a thing, and I would have liked that.
Right. It used to be you got 2 timeouts per game, and that was really the only time you talked to your coach, I guess at the 5th end break. But really important, I think, for coaches to give feedback during the game.
For sure, especially as we noticed up here, the little runs in there.
Exactly.
To indicate that, just give yourself that slight advantage.
So a nice shot by Zach Davies. He plays a soft weight hit and stick, and Alberta will open with a single point. They lead 1-0 after the first end.
Okay, good stuff. We're up 1 without, go minus. Soft force, top four tight. Second end.
So back for the second end, Alberta with a 1-point lead. And Adam Nogler from Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, the Alberta lead. Perfect shot, just biting the front of the button. Now Memorial could play a corner guard here and try to generate some offense, but I think they really feel that they're still trying to feel the ice out a bit. This is just their second game. As I said, the conditions are a little bit different than they were yesterday, and I think both teams just trying to get used to the ice. So this is a good, safe call. And a good hit and stick by Carter Holden. So we had a bit of a change in the weather here, Gio. As you know, Regina has had an absolutely beautiful February.
Yeah.
Warm temperatures, basically all of the snow melted. Above zero almost every day for 2 weeks. And then the teams arrived for this championship, and everything went bad. We had a huge ice and snowstorm yesterday, and then overnight. Terrible visibility. You and I were talking about our drive to the rink this morning. My drive is usually about a 25-minute drive to the Cali here, and it took me almost an hour this morning to get here. All kinds of vehicles in the ditches, and yeah, it was It was crazy.
Yeah, it's been something having that weather come through.
Yeah, I feel bad for all of these teams. I wish we could have shown them better weather than what we're getting right now, but I'm sure some of them were happy to see the snow.
I can confirm because we have a book here. We asked some of the teams some questions before the tournament, and some of them asked, "Oh, one wish while being here was to see snow," and they sure got it.
Absolutely.
He didn't kick for it.
So very nice shot by Will Butler. Hit and rolled away and leaves no double takeouts for Memorial. Simon Perry is going to ask Braden Snow to play a hit and roll over to the left or the right as you see it on the screen, over towards that other rock. Try to get the rocks a little bit closer together and hopefully have a chance to make a double and get out of this. Pretty good shot. He would like a little more of a roll, but it does get over there a little bit. And now the Golden Bears will try to hit and roll over as far to the wing as they can. Again, they're trying to keep those rocks separated as much as possible. Yeah, that's a perfect shot. That almost didn't curl enough, and that is the spot that we saw in this morning's game that was super straight. Both teams really getting fooled by how straight that intern coming home was.
I just saw later kick. Yeah, it was. Ted! Yeah, little bit. Speed's close. He's good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Girl! No, straight.
Great shot, and that is just a really good sweep call by Simon Perry. He waited and waited for that rock to get across the face, and as a result got a really good roll over onto the side of sheet where the other yellow is.
Bump, bump, bump. Definitely bump. Tell him that.
Very nice soft weight by Ronan Peterson there. And I think that's what they need to do on those spots that are really straight is you can get away with throwing pretty soft weight, and it's highly unlikely to over curl on you. So Memorial now will try to hit and roll in front of that.
It's good. Close. Lead. Girl. Girl.
A little bit of a roll.
across the house.
I think so. I think he's okay with just a nose hit there. So, a couple of really good hit and sticks by Ronan Peterson. Simon Perry now is looking at the possibility of a slash double there. He realizes that the chances for a deuce are pretty slim here for Memorial. If he can get out of this with a blank, I think he'd be quite happy. So I think you're going to see Nick Codner throwing big weight at this and trying to run both of those yellows out of the rings. A little bit of an over curl. So this is going to be an interesting one for Zach Davies because this is a shot that they have not seen. This is a shot that you would never throw in your practice rocks. And it's going to be a little bit of a guess here.
All the way out to the edge.
Yeah. And he has chosen to throw the inside-out turn, which is his in turn as a left-hander, which I think makes a lot of sense because, as I said, that the outside-in shots out in the 12-foot have been a little bit unpredictable.
Calling hard for curl.
Yeah. And that was a good carve by Adam Nogler.
Trying for that double again.
Yeah, it's a little bit more natural now. He can almost hit on the nose, just a little bit off nose, and make this double. And this is a shot that they have seen. They know that this is going to go straight, as you can see. Braden Snow has got the broom right in the middle of the rock. They're basically expecting this rock to stay right where Simon throws it. Oh, and just missed it. And once again, team's getting tricked a little bit by that in-turn coming home. It is just so straight, and especially when you throw up weight like that. So Zach Davies now will try to split the rings, get a force. Also a good chance for Zach just to confirm his draw weight.
Sure, I was a bit late on my timer. But should be close.
Yeah, right on the tee line, and that's going to force Simon Perry to just hit that one stick and take a point here in the second end. You can see in the background there the Alberta team conferring with their coach Rob Krebs, and that's what I was talking about. That's something that before this year would not have been allowed during the course of the game. Yeah, good sweep and a nice soft weight hit by Simon Perry. And so Memorial counts one, and we're tied 1-1 after 2 ends. So we head into the third end. It will be interesting to see the strategy. And as you can see, Simon Perry has indicated a guard to start. So he realizes that only 6 ends left. Probably needs to make something happen here, get either a force or a steal.
And that's again a change from when I played. It used to be 10 ends.
Yes,
Now we're
that's
down
right
to
too.
8.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't sweep it. It's at,
Yeah, I think the only things that are 10 ends now are the Brier, the Scotties, and the World Championships. Everything else is 8 ends now. Well, I guess play downs leading up to the Brier and Scotties are still 10 ends.
Yeah, but changes how you approach the game, just having those 2 less ends.
It does for sure. Creates a little bit more urgency in the early ends, and frankly, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Weight's good. They're hot.
Oh, good try by Simon Perry. Just couldn't quite get that one through, but Adam Nogler a little heavy with that. And this is a good aggressive call by Memorial. They're coming around the center guard. They would have the option to hit that one, but if they do that, Alberta would just probably hit it again, and then you're back into blank territory. So Memorial is going to go after it a little bit here. The lead, Carter Holden, just threw a guard, so he knows just to add about 5 feet and try to get it to the 4-foot. This is really hanging out there, though.
It is not moving.
That's heavy as well.
2 heavy ones.
Both skips getting a bit of a workout on the sweeping here. That's good to see. They usually don't do anything.
Alberta trying to get around.
Wow, did that one ever move?
That moved a lot.
Great shot by Adam Nogler, but that had huge movement at the end. You almost wonder if that actually caught something. I don't really think you have a choice here if you're Simon Perry. You pretty much have to run that red one in.
That is that straight path, if I'm not mistaken.
It is very straight there. So the second man, Braden Snow, is going to throw an out-turn run back here. Oh, he got a tough break. He made the run back, but it jams on the red at the back, and getting a little bit dicey for Memorial now. They don't have hammer, and there are 2 Alberta Rocks in the rings. Neither in a great position, but still, you hate to see the other team, especially when you don't have hammer with outside biters like that. And now Alberta looks like they're going to play a soft weight hit and roll away from that guard and try to lie 3. This is a tricky shot because they're going to have to negotiate it through those 2 yellows at the back, and they're going to have to deal with that guard.
Jam on that back yellow.
Yeah, pretty good. He just needed to curl a little bit more in that, and then he would have had less of a roll, and he wouldn't have made that jam. But lets Memorial off the hook a little bit.
Where would you like to see them put this rock?
I like coming around that center guard again. Now, Simon is looking at a hit and roll, and I don't mind that shot either. When you don't have hammer, like I said, you hate seeing the other team with a lot of rocks in the rings.
Especially those biters. They come in, they sneak up on you if you don't pay too much attention to them.
Absolutely. Braden with a nice hit and roll. He would rather have rolled a little bit more right behind the guard, but that's a pretty good shot. Alberta now will play to hit and probably stick right there. Maybe roll a little bit over towards the boards. And this is the second shot for Will Butler. Really good hit and stick. This is a good looking shot. Wow, great roll. Really good shot.
Right behind that guard.
That's going to force Alberta to play a run back here. And they were never really crazy about that red guard being there anyways. It was always going to be the saver for Memorial, and that's exactly what has happened with a really good hit and roll by Nick Codner. Ronan Peterson with the peel. Now an interesting situation for Memorial, and it looks like they're going to play a guard, and I think this is a good call because this is a great opportunity for them to get a steal. The other thing they looked at was playing a tap back on that yellow at the back, and that would be maybe a safer call, but I think that this is a case where you've got a really good chance to steal a point here.
Take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Brock again took a bit of time to start curling.
Yeah, it did. It did actually end up on really good line, but just a little bit too much weight by Nick Codner, and that I think is why it took so long to curl. It gives Alberta a shot at a double to get out of this, and I'm sure Nick will not be happy with that shot. He would rather have dropped that 3 or 4 feet short of the rings. But the double is not made. Peterson a little bit wide and only got one.
The chance here now, they're looking at that tap.
They are.
The yellow. Do you ever throw that draw again? Or the guard?
I would throw the guard, but there's no wrong call here. I mean, when you don't have Hammer, he has got an opportunity to make that tap and make Alberta face 3. Again, I just think you know exactly where to put the broom for the guard, and it's a good opportunity to steal. Yep, that's a good shot. He's in south line 3.
This is going to be a big waiter coming here.
No, I think he's just going to play a hit and try to hit and roll over to the left and try to get it in front of that wall of rocks at the back and just maybe create a little bit of doubt in Simon's mind about a jam. Yeah, Zach got that one going a little bit. It looked like he turned it over just a bit. Great sweep by Adam Nogler to keep that straight. And now it pretty much gives Simon Perry an opportunity to throw wherever he wants. And what he will try to do is put it in a spot where he thinks it may be difficult for Zach to hit and stick. With that ice, it looks like he's going to try to throw it right into the middle.
Called the audible to try and get it way back there.
Exactly. I think that what they were afraid of and what they actually have done is leave those two reds as a bit of a catcher on this shot. But I really like that call by Simon Perry to put that rock there, because he's basically leaving Zach Davies the exact same shot he just threw, and he didn't throw it very well the first time. So I think what he's saying is, hey, I'm going to make you throw this again. Maybe you're a little worried about how much that last one curled and you flip it out a bit. But let's see how Zach reacts here. I expect his weight will be pretty similar to what he threw on the first one. Perfect shot, and that's a really good adjustment by Zach Davies. He threw that one very well. So, 1-1-1. We've got a game of one so far, and Alberta takes a 2-1 lead as we go to the third end.
As the head of volunteers here on the host committee, I'd like to shout out Sask Energy for making a significant milestone as it celebrates 25 years as Saskatchewan champion of volunteers. Sask Energy emphasizes that volunteers, those who dedicate their time, energy, and efforts, often behind the scenes, are essential to making events like the 2026 U Sports and Canadian College Athletic Association Curling Championships possible. Today we're not only cheering on athletes, but we're also cheering on the amazing volunteers who have helped to make this event possible. Sask Energy is proud to stand behind the amazing people who build local spirit, connection, and growth through volunteerism.
Good job, Gio. So I always find it interesting in games like this that are very close, where neither team really is giving in very much, to see how they approach these middle ends. Mm-hmm. And Alberta has decided to throw it in the rings, which I think is pretty standard. They've got a 1-point lead. Memorial is playing a corner guard, which is exactly what they should be doing. And then I'm thinking Alberta will try to throw a center guard, and it'll be game on. We haven't had a lot of rocks in play in the first three ends here. It's been both teams playing pretty close to the vest. So a little bit of background on how these teams got here. The University of Alberta Golden Bears played at home at the Saville Centre in Edmonton in the Canada West Championships and made it to the final, where they lost to the University of Calgary in the final of the Canada West. Interestingly enough, it was the first time University of Calgary has won Canada West in, I think it's 62 years. So that goes back a long time. So University of Alberta, as the runners-up, got into the Nationals as the second Canada West team. Of course, the third Canada West team is the University of Regina as the host. They finished third in Edmonton. And Memorial won the AUS championship. They beat Dalhousie in the final, and they are in their third consecutive U Sport National Championship. As I mentioned, last year they got the bronze medal. So this has been a very successful program at Memorial University. They're in the women's event as well, and that team also looks extremely strong. Carter Holden just a little bit heavy on that shot. He was trying to play a freeze tap on the Alberta rock, and maybe just about 2 feet heavy. And so Alberta will try to drop another one in there now. Try to lie 2 behind that center guard, and then that's going to force Memorial maybe to make a play on that center guard.
Make a decision.
That is a really good shot by Will Butler. Enough of it sticking out that Simon thinks he might be able to hit it, but if you do hit it, it's just jamming on the shot rock anyway. So now they're looking at playing the run back. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to hear what the Memorial team is saying. Their microphone is not working. But they are discussing whether or not they want to make a play on that rock in the rings or the run back, and it looks like they've chosen the run back. Oh, that is a great shot. A bit of intern heat from Braden Snow, and he absolutely hit that right where he needed to. Clears out all of the yellow rocks from the forefoot and now forces Alberta to make a play on the shot rock in the back forefoot. Man, that is huge when your second can make a bailout shot like that. It just gets you out of all kinds of trouble.
Changes the end.
Yeah. A good hit and stick by Will Butler.
Just hack. He's good. He's good.
Just a little bit outside, and that just didn't come up enough, and he hits and rolls out. So that gives Alberta an opportunity now to come around that center guard and lay 2. So if you're watching this and listening to us, I think that means that you found the game on the University of Regina Cougars YouTube channel. Unfortunately, Curl Canada YouTube, they're having some issues with it. So until further notice, I think keep coming to the Regina Cougars YouTube site. And we are streaming every game, or not every game, but half of the games. And we have commentary on one game each draw, and this is the one on this draw. So it's great to have you here, and I hope you keep coming back and watching more of the U Sport and CCAA Championship. So Memorial are going to play a tap back on this, try to get shot rock. And they had some discussion about which turn to play, and they've chosen the intern. And as I was saying earlier, Gio, this is a really tricky turn. This intern coming back towards the glass. There's just not a lot of movement on this shot.
Quite straight. And we've seen quite a few throughout the game that have just not moved a
Line's
lot.
good.
Yeah.
Line's good. Yeah. Hard. Hard.
This is a really good looking shot. But there again, I mean, that rock only cleared the guard by a quarter of an inch and didn't even get to the nose. Like, there just is not any finish in that spot. That's a great shot by Nick Codner. That really opens up the forefoot. Ronan Peterson with a hit. A little bit of a tip inside, but he would rather have got a little bit more of a roll. Still a pretty good shot. Now Memorial's going to play that same soft weight, try to hit and roll behind that guard. Lots of interesting shifts in momentum in this end. It looked like Alberta was in great shape, and then we had that great run back by Braden Snow. And then Braden rolled out on a second one, and the advantage shifted back to Alberta. Looks like they're going plan B on this one and try to roll the other way. And boy, that worked out pretty good. That worked out really good. That was a really good audible by Simon on that one to get the roll to the outside.
We go nose. Do you think this red is actually going? Yeah. I like the pick. Yeah, should fall a little bit.
So you could hear the two options that the Alberta team discussed there. One was to try to hit on the red on the nose and have it spin out the side, but I think they were a little bit worried about a jam, and they were a little bit worried about whether it would go all the way out. So they have decided to just try to pick this rock out. Ideally, they pick it cleanly and leave themselves lying two. And then it will be interesting to see what Memorial does. Well, he got it out. He lost the back one, but still a pretty good shot. And now Memorial will... They've really got two options here. They could come around the corner guard, or they can come around the center guard. And I really think this is the right call, because if you come around the corner, you give an opportunity for Alberta to follow down and freeze to it. This way, if you can get it top forefoot buried, it's going to force the hand of Alberta, and it's going to make them play a freeze, and pretty much guarantees a point for Memorial and a really good shot at a deuce if they make this.
Now, Brian, we've discussed a lot of that side being quite straight. Would you have ever elected to do the other turn?
You could have. I think they've played that in turn enough times this hand that they've got a pretty good idea, and that's a great shot by Simon. I mean, he had perfect line on that. It's completely buried. It's above the tee line. And really all Zach Davies can do now is try to corner freeze to that rock and force Memorial to a single point. But if you're heavy at all and you bounce off, You're going to open up a chance for a deuce. If you're light, Simon is just going to throw that exact same shot again for 2. So this is a tricky shot for Zach Davies.
Now coming off that big heavy weight of 7-3 I got on my timer to now a soft, delicate one. Takes some time to adjust in that. Take some breath in the hack.
Yeah, a little bit, but the guys at this level, and this is a very elite curling level, they're used to drawing to the clock. They know exactly what a 15-second draw is. So I really think that Zach is sitting in the hack, and all he's thinking about is throw a 15, throw a 15, throw a 15. He's not really worried about what he threw on his last one. Adam Knockler trying to carve it, and that is a really good shot.
Still, look, Memorial still sitting in the 1.
Yeah, there's a shot for 2 for Memorial, and Simon just threw this shot, but boy, he's got to be really exact on this. A little bit heavy, and he bumps his own. He's not getting 2. The good news for him is he just threw this shot. He knows exactly where to put the broom. And his sweepers just saw it, so you know that they're going to be very close on the sweep judge on this as well. Man, this is a good game. Lots of good shots being made. Did I not say at the start of the game that these two teams may be 2 of the favorites to win this championship? I really think that's true now after seeing them play these first 4 ends.
No bounce on this line. Through. Okay, go ahead. Right up. Through, okay.
Absolutely perfect shot, and that's 2 beautiful shots by Simon Perry, but I'm going to have to give some credit to the sweepers on both of those shots. That is not easy to sweep a rock exactly to a spot like that, and they were absolutely perfect on this one. You can see they were kind of on and off it all the way. They gave it a little bit of a scrub at the end, and it turned out perfect. So the first deuce goes to Memorial, and they lead 3-2 after 4 ends. And they'll now go to the 4th end break and have a discussion with their coaches.
Thanks, mister.
Hey, thanks. Want a s'more?
Every ticket you buy funds programs all across Saskatchewan, like sports, culture, and parks and recreation. Buy your tickets today.
I'm Dev Panchal. I'm a fourth year film student at the U of R. I came here in Regina back in 2017 from India and finished my high school here, and I'm here since then. So the creative media team at the University of Regina is made up of students from all different faculties, and we are responsible for live event broadcasting for events at the university, which include our convocations for spring and fall, and our varsity sports events, any other events happening at the UFR. So my current role with the creative media team is a director and switcher. So I switch cameras, I am in communication with the team staff, I make sure that everything is operated nice and smooth, and I'm responsible for whatever goes onto the broadcast. And I think this has expanded my skills, so I can not only go into film and TV, but also get a career in this live event broadcasting. I think my biggest learning since involvement in the team is my people skills. I think I have interacted with a lot of students from different faculties, different backgrounds, which I was not able to get in my own class. And I think just talking to people, learning from them, learning from their experiences is a skill I value. So this hands-on learning experience has helped me open doors off campus. Some of them is working with the sports team, such as Saskatchewan Roughriders and other media production companies in the province. I think creative media team is a great opportunity for hands-on learning, just because it gives you the opportunity to expand on your skill sets. Everyone brings different skills to the table, so I think they all come together to create a collaborative work environment. So I would recommend all students to explore hands-on learning opportunities that are present to them.
Fifth end of play. Alberta trailing by 1, but with hammer. My name is Brian McCusker. I'm joined by Geo Wright, and we are happy to be doing this broadcast from the Cali Curling Club in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Brian, I'm just looking across the scoreboards as this side all came to the fifth end break. We got very close games across all four sheets on this side.
We do. You see the Memorial women's team also leading. They're up 3-1 on McMaster. That's on the next sheet. So a nice come around there by Adam Nogler. He gets that rock fully buried in the front 12-foot. Carter Holden, I think, was trying to play a split on that guard there, and he maybe was just a little bit light or a little bit of an over curl from what he wanted. Still, not a bad situation for Memorial. They've got a short run back on that rock in the rings. Alberta's going to try to pump another one in on the in-turn. Couple of really good shots by Adam Nogler. And he acknowledges his sweepers, and he knows that that's a big part of making shots like that, and they did a great job of judging that one. So Alberta lies 2, both buried, but both behind Memorial Rocks. And so we'll see if Braden Snow can replicate his magic from last end with a run back. This one he's playing with soft weight. He's throwing just control weight on this. Yeah, he did. A little bit of an over curl, but that's good enough. He's removed the yellow rock. Alberta will try to come back into the 4-foot again. Braden almost rolled to a spot there where those 2 reds are overlapped, and that would have been a disaster for Memorial, because at least now they can still run those 2 reds in.
Big sweep here.
A pretty good shot for Will Butler. He would like to have been a little bit deeper, and this leaves actually a really short run back for Memorial. The angle's not ideal, though. I don't really see any double on those 2 yellows. So Simon looking at a couple of options here. He was looking at the run back on the red on the left-hand side, the one closer to the rings, try to angle it into the shot rock. Then he looked at playing a come around, but it looks like they have decided to play a run back, and given the fact that they're up 1, I think this is the right call. I don't really think you want to be playing around with coming around those guards. Well, he played the picket cleanly, and that's a pretty good shot. Almost got both yellows out, but it at least has moved that rock out to where it's open. Alberta's still on the attack here, though. They're still in pretty good shape this end to get a deuce. And that's a really good shot. Great shot by Will Butler. Nick Codner is now going to be asked to play a run back on that center guard. I expect once again they'll play this with just control weight. Just nice control weight on that. which allowed the sweepers to manipulate it a little bit and hit it exactly where he wanted. And now Alberta is going to have to go on the defensive, try to double peel these guards, and the deuce is now looking less likely for them. And another great shot. Man, this is good curling, Gio.
I was about to mention before the break, the last end you mentioned how the momentum shifted between each shot in the last end. It's happening a bit here. It's kind of happened throughout the game.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of really interesting ends. So this gives Memorial a chance to hit and stick on this to lay 2. Oh, and just a little bit of an oversweep early there, and the rock backed up a bit. So that lets Alberta off the hook. It gives them a chance now to blank this end and retain hammer as they go back to the 6th end. Really nice clean release by Simon Perry. All of the curlers in this game just look like they throw extremely well. It's a bit of a roll just to change the position a little bit for Zach Davies, but Zach is just going to try to hit and stick here, and his goal now is to get a blank in this end. Perfect. I don't think he was trying to roll that far, but you can't really do any better than that. It's interesting because Simon Perry stayed down at this end. He knew he was just going to have an open hit, but because that rock rolled to a spot where they are not really sure where to put the broom, it may have been better for him to stay down at that end and have a bit of a discussion. But he seems pretty confident about what this is going to do. It looks like they like it.
Yep.
Really good shot by Simon. So Zach Davies now with the blank attempt. He's going to throw his in turn and try to come across the face of this. No, actually he played it to hit it on the outside. So a perfect shot by Zach Davies. That's a blank end, and Alberta retains hammer as we go to the sixth end. Okay, back to action for the sixth end. And the Memorial lead, Carter Holden. So in the sixth end of an 8-end game, extremely important to score. And I'm sure that that will be the strategy for Alberta and for Zach Davies, is to protect the hammer here. Make sure that you're giving yourself a chance to score and not giving up a steal. Even scoring one is not bad here for Alberta. They would love to get a deuce and go ahead, but they really want to make sure that they score this end. And so because of that, Memorial throws a center guard, which is the right call. They also want to score. They would love to get a steal here.
Comes down to trying to have that hammer in that eighth final end.
Absolutely. So great line for Adam Nogler, just a little bit heavy, and you could see at the end that Ronan Peterson tried to sweep that to try to get it more towards the back of the forefoot, because that is not in an ideal position for University of Alberta. It means that Carter Holden is going to try to come down and freeze right on that rock, and if he does, it's going to take a couple of shots for Alberta to get it out. Wow, did that ever curl? Yeah. May have been a little bit of an overcarve by the Memorial team there. You also wonder if it's starting to get a little bit flat in the center, which means it would be a little bit slower and a little bit more curl. And when I say flat, what I mean is the pebble broken down. And that quite often happens, especially on club ice, because the curlers are sliding over that path all the time, and the rocks are sliding over that path, and it's hard for the pebble to stand up for that long. So sometimes in the 6th, 7th, 8th ends, you see a little bit of flattening out in the middle, and I think that may be happening a bit here.
And to add, too, we are in the 6th end, but they did have pregame practice on here, too.
It's true. The pregame practice is a big factor in the wearing of pebble, for sure. That is an absolute beauty by Adam Nogler. Perfect shot. So it's going to force Memorial to play a run back, and you know, you hate running back your own center guard because that guard is in a good situation for you, but you really don't have a choice here. I mean, Alberta is in such good position right now with those two rocks. Oh, so close.
Now, Brian.
It's a double peel. Red. In, and they're forcing Memorial to make tough shots.
Having a bit of discussion here.
Yeah, and again, I wish we could hear what they're saying, but the Memorial team's mic's not working. So Zach Davies as well. There's no sense trying to pump another rock into the forefoot because that one you've got there is in such a perfect position. A number of viewers who, like me, are old, and they are going to remember a curler from Newfoundland named Jack McDuff. Have you ever heard of him?
I have not.
No. Well, he very famously was the skip of the Newfoundland team, the first Newfoundland team to win a Brier, right here in Regina. In, I'm going to say 1976, I think it was. Also just a wonderful guy, a great personality. And the reason I bring it up is I think Simon Perry gives me some Jack McDuff vibes. He's got a little bit of the same look about him, kind of the same mustache, and also an outstanding player. Just missed getting the roll there. Carter Holden trying to get a carve on that to get a little bit more curl, but they've left it in the open. And now Zach is looking at trying to roll inside, and I think that actually is a good option now, because if he does roll inside, he's going to be above the tee line.
That's that straight spot again, just going back to the previous shot.
Exactly, yeah.
A lot run straight there.
Yeah, we've seen it miss broomside so many times. So the thinking here for Zach is you could play the hit and roll in under the guards. That would be your way of getting 3 here. Or you could play the hit and try to roll away to the wings, and that would be the way of pretty much assuring that you're going to get 2. Now, getting 2 here would be huge. It puts you 1 up playing the 7th end, which is a good situation. But I really think this is a great opportunity for Alberta to put a 3 spot up. If they can get this hit and roll in, it really is going to put pressure on Simon Perry. He almost is going to have to play a run back on that middle red rock, and that's a pretty high guard, a pretty long run back. Oh, pretty good. Just a little bit too much of a roll, and it may give an out for Memorial.
Brian, would you ever want to come sit on top of that yellow right at the back of the button there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That absolutely is the shot that I would play, and I think it looks It looks like that's the decision they've come to. If he can get one in front of that, it's going to be really hard for Alberta to remove, and even if they blast it out, they're going to lose the shooter and only get one. This is an absolutely huge shot for Simon Perry. This is the kind of shot that turns games around. If he makes a perfect freeze here, it could take what was a very promising end away from Alberta. But if he's a little heavy and bounces off, or a little bit light, he could give up 3. Looks like they're working it for line as much as weight. Now the line looks really good.
Here comes the carve.
Yeah. Pretty good. Maybe a little more weight than he wanted, but this is not an easy shot for Alberta.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably easier than a 50.
Yeah?
It's hard. Like that?
I think my shooter's rolling out.
Okay.
But we're still getting 2.
Yeah.
With that mindset, do we want to throw more weights? Like an easy?
I like easier medium.
I like easy. Good to you?
We want to hit a third, right?
Yep. I'm just thinking it should run pretty darn straight.
So as you could hear there, the Alberta team uses weights a little bit different than other teams. They were talking about easy or medium, and they decided on easy. And I'm guessing easy is like a 10-second control hit, but we will see. What Zach was talking about is we're not going to make this shot and hold and get 3. We can't hold the shooter, so let's make sure that we get that red rock out of the forefoot and get our 2. I don't think he can see a lot of this shot, the rock. This is not an easy shot.
Especially being left-handed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a left-handed out turn. And that's a great shot. That's as good as he could do. And I timed that one at 9.8, so about a 10-second hit. So that's what their easy is, obviously, is a 10-second hit. And that was a really well-executed end by Alberta. Very well-earned deuce.
Alright,
Oh, yeah.
what are we in here, bud?
We're gonna win. Because we're off 1 without. Pro minus.
Let's go.
Soft force.
Top 4
Top
tight.
4 tight.
Alright,
Top 4, right?
Good D.
Yeah.
Again, I love that discussion between ends by the Alberta team. That's a really good communication there. Talking about where we want the first rock, what our goal is in this end. They talked about a soft force. So they would really love to force Memorial to a single point here and have Hammer coming home tied up. For Memorial, you kind of have 2 options here. And I think what most teams do is they try to go pretty hard for the deuce here, but make sure that you still are leaving yourself a chance to bail and blank the end if you need to, because 1 down without Hammer or 1 down with Hammer is not a bad situation. 1 up without is better, but the last thing you want if you're Memorial here is to get forced to 1. And that's a good start for Alberta. Nogler throwing a perfect center guard, tight. Now, I didn't see the call here, but I assume Carter Holden is throwing a corner guard.
Looks to be that way.
Yeah. The shot's out to the wings just so fast. It's just lightning fast out there. That's a good shot for Memorial, and now Alberta will try to come right into the rings. That's a little bit heavy. That's not going to be the shot that Adam Nogler wanted to make. He would rather have had that much in front of the tee line instead of behind it. So now a couple of options for Memorial. They could use that corner guard and go around it, or they could come down to the one that was just thrown. Just a little bit heavy by Carter. And you can see he's not happy with that. So that really is a bit of an out for Alberta. They now can try to come around and try to get one above the tee line behind that guard. The good news for Memorial is that Carter's rock did stay in the rings, and that rock may still come into play. That's a good shot by Will Butler. And this is a really smart call by Simon Perry. I really like this call, and this is something that sometimes you don't see with young teams is to know when to abandon your plan and bail. And that's what they're doing here. They know they need to score here. They need to keep the middle open so that they're going to have a shot. And what this really does is keep the blank alive. And wow, another run back by Braden Snow. This guy's on fire.
He really is.
You know, he's not a big guy, but he sure seems to be able to throw big weight with ease and very solid in the delivery. Another nice draw by Will Butler. Now it's decision time for Memorial. They now could draw around into the forefoot and try to generate their deuce that way, but they're gonna make sure that they keep that middle open. They're playing the run back again. And if he can stick this run back, they would have second and third shots and put a little bit of pressure on Alberta. And that time Braden got it out a bit. Makes the peel, but would rather have made the run back. And now an interesting situation for Alberta because they are looking at playing a hit on that rock to lay 3, and I think that's actually not a bad option. The other option, and it looks like this is what they've chosen, is to put a center guard up. If this shot is made, and I'm Simon Perry, I'm thinking about coming around into the forefoot. That's okay by Ronan. A little bit deep. He probably didn't want it that deep, but it has covered that shot rock, or the second shot rock.
You still like coming around here, Brian?
I do, yeah. I really think that Simon wants to make sure that he keeps a potential blank alive here, and I think that's why he's playing hits here. And Nick Codner wants to have a chat with him.
They do have 7 minutes and 40 seconds left on the thinking time, so plenty of time for this end and the next.
Yeah, and Alberta's over 8 minutes, so they're not in any time trouble either. Neither team has used its timeout as well, so they've got that. So it looks like they've settled on playing to try to make a hit and roll the shooter into the rings. That's a good result. Got rid of 2 yellows. And it's going to force Alberta now to hit that back one. So if Simon Perry's goal coming into this end was to get a blank, and it may well be that that's what he did want, he's in pretty good situation right now. Because even if Alberta hits and sticks here, there is a double available. Good hit and stick there by Ronan. Now they can probably make the double here and get the roll behind that corner guard. Nick throwing just nice control weight here. Got a little bit unlucky on the stuff there, but he got a really good roll. Nick Codner, very animated. He's fun to watch. So not an easy shot for Zach Davies here. He's got to try to pick that one out. I'm sure he would like to stick the shooter here, but he can't see all of that rock, and this is not an easy shot at all. It's also a spot on the ice that we haven't really seen a lot of shots played in this game, so a little bit of a guess on where to put the broom. I don't think he hung on. It looks like it's out. Great shot, though. Really good carve by Will Butler on that.
So the blank is still on.
The blank is still on. Now Simon could throw a draw around that red guard and try to get his deuce, but I think that he's happy getting a blank here and going to the last end, one down with hammer.
Really big sweep here.
Yeah, great sweep by Carter Holden on that one to keep that one straight. So Alberta can go pretty aggressively for a roll behind that guard on this shot. If they roll out, they're actually not that concerned because it's probably going to be a blank anyways. So you don't mind going aggressively for the roll here.
Come on, shade more.
Again, just nice control weight, but right on the nose. And this is the kind of shot, if you're Simon Perry, you cannot take for granted. It's extremely important to get the blank here. Perfectly executed. So Memorial gets what they wanted. They get the blank end, and they will be one down with hammer coming home.
And this broadcast is sponsored, and this event is sponsored by the University of Regina Alumni Association. And they are the voice of more than 95,000 graduates worldwide from our university. We are a very proud sponsor of our Rams and Cougars teams and the athletic excellence they display, whether that's on the field, on the court, in the pool, or on the rink. Go Rams, go! Go Cougars, go!
Well, I always think the one down with hammer situation coming home is the most interesting situation to watch. There's so many different strategies that you can use. The team I coach, Kelly Knapp, we try to execute this scenario in practice quite often and try to make adjustments by what's happening with the other team. It's just it's a really interesting scenario for both the team with hammer and without. That is not a good start for Alberta. They did not want that rock behind the tee line. Very good guard for Carter Holden. That's in a perfect spot. And again, that's a little bit deep. So, interesting situation now for Memorial. They have three options. They could throw another corner. They could come around this corner, which it looks like they are doing, or they could make a play on those two rocks and try to make a tap back in the forefoot. I think what Memorial is thinking is that those two Alberta rocks are not in a good position for Alberta. And they really don't mind leaving those rocks there. They know they're always going to have the button open. And it's not a great situation for Alberta because they're going to be guarding rocks that are behind the tee line.
So electing to play the guard here on the other side.
Yeah, and I don't mind that call. I mean, it's they're in a situation where they still want to make sure that they're keeping rocks in play. And if you came into the rings and didn't get buried, it would give Alberta an option to play a hit. This way, Alberta can't hit either of those red rocks.
Knife, always knife. Hard. No. Line's good, line's good.
Well, two perfect shots for Carter Holden. Now Will Butler will try to get one above the tee line on the center line.
Okay, then out if you think heavy. Just let it work itself. Out.
That's pretty good. That's exactly where they wanted it. So Simon Perry indicating normal weight, which would be probably a 9-second hit for Braden Snow. This is a big shot. If they can get those the two yellows out of the forefoot circle, and they've still got those two corner guards, they're in great shape here.
I've seen Braden Snow make quite a few of these.
Yeah, and he just made another one. That's a great shot. He rolled partly behind that corner guard. He got one of the yellows out of the forefoot. And this forces Alberta to make a play on that. So those two red corner guards are going to come into play pretty soon here. That's a great shot. Will Butler has had a really good game. So if you are watching on the U of Regina Cougars website, we've just been notified that Curl Canada's YouTube site will be back up for the 4:30 draw, so you should be able to find the games there as well. Braden Snow going to make another attempt at a hit and roll behind that corner guard. Wow, another great shot. Just 3 inches more roll, that would have been absolutely perfect, but that still is a really good shot. There's nothing in the forefoot now. The middle is wide open. Memorial has those two corner guards to use, and the pressure is really on Alberta right now. And another great shot. That was not an easy shot for Ronan Peterson. Threw perfect weight, just barely cleared the guard and kept the shooter in the forefoot. So the longer that Alberta can keep Memorial playing hits instead of draws around the guard, the happier Alberta is going to be. Memorial just dying to get a chance to play a draw around those two corners. No roll, and I think Nick maybe just a little bit heavy on that one. It looked like he threw more weight than what they wanted, and he just didn't get the curl they wanted. Perfect shot by Ronan Peterson.
Just a really good game we've had so far.
This has been a great game. Yeah.
Big shot making. So Memorial trying to get a hit and roll here. They'll try to roll on top of that yellow in
inside 12 foot.
Girl! Close! Girl! Girl!
Pretty good. It's going to be mostly open. He would rather have just rolled over there and not gone into that catcher, but let's listen into what Alberta.
Hack. Should get some curl here with my end and going down the slant.
Focus on the big.
Yeah.
So interesting, Zach said we should get some curl here going down the slant, and that's what we've been talking about all game, Gio, is the shape of this sheet is a little bit high in the middle on that side and a little bit low on the board. So the rocks are curling to the wing and not curling very much to the center. So Zach is going to play hack weight at this. It looks like he can probably see about half of the rock, maybe a little bit more. And he would love to stick it right there or even roll a little bit into the middle. Pretty good, but he did roll out, and I think that he maybe got a little bit tricked by the ice there. I think that maybe didn't curl as much as he thought it would. And so finally, Memorial is going to have a chance to make a draw around one of those two corners, and it looks like they're going to play the in-turn side. I wonder, too, if Zach was maybe a little bit heavy for hack weight on that shot. So we have seen, Gio, that these shots to the wing, very, very fast. And I think that Simon Perry's going to have to be careful here to not overthrow this, to make sure he gives it to the sweepers and lets them manipulate the path as well with the brooms, get a carve on or a straight if they need to. Yeah, they don't want to come behind the tee line now.
No.
All right, you got it, girl.
You're going to rest right on.
Yeah, that's an almost perfect shot. Fully buried, and Alberta's going to call a timeout. Let's see what Coach Rob Krebs has to say.
It's either out-turn freeze or in-turn chase.
Well, or you draw around this one.
I think if we're drawing around something, then we're just freezing.
Well, you've got enough real estate on this side, so I kind of like this, right? You just have to have an angle on it. And
Yeah.
Don't chop off, right? He's not
Totally.
able to get it out, so
I like that too.
yeah.
Just like a nice, like playing it like a reach,
No,
but we
like-
can't
no,
really
I-
chop
no,
off.
I don't think you're playing like a reach.
Yeah, just nice
You're-
top four.
You're just playing it sort of even with the top four.
Yep,
Put it right there.
sounds good.
Getting that one in big time.
Yeah.
Can't take this in.
That's good. We're going up the slant, but it's inside out. Just trying to get some movement.
I get it. You got it.
So as you could hear, they've decided to just play a corner freeze on that rock and just play top four weight. This is a pretty precise shot, but I don't really see what else Alberta can do here. If Memorial could could have that last shot back, they probably would like it about 2 inches higher. Would make this corner freeze a lot tougher. But they kind of had to sweep it to get the carve at the end and to get it buried. So it's pretty hard to criticize the shot that Simon Perry just made. It's almost perfect. Puts a lot of pressure on Zach Davies here.
Heavy and wide.
Whoa! Close!
We did hear heavy and wide.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. That was so close to being a great shot, but he just was about 3 feet too heavy. I really think his line would have been fine if the weight was right. And Memorial now are going to use their timeout. Not really to talk about the shot or to talk to the coach, but mostly just to make sure that they've got lots of time on their clock for the last shot. This is a pretty straightforward hit and stick for Simon Perry for the win. And this has been a very well executed end by Memorial. This is almost like a classic one down with coming home execution end for them.
Heavy! 10-5! Clean, yep! Clean, clean! Yep! 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 Yep!
Looks pretty good.
It does. And there we go.
Wow, that was a great game. Really fun to watch. And what did I say earlier, Gio? I think that these two teams are probably two of the favorites to win the championship here, and I certainly feel that way now, and I would not be surprised to see them playing each other again in the playoffs.
No, I wouldn't either after this game.
Okay, well, thanks for being with me, Gio, and thanks to all of you for listening. I hope you tune in again. We'll be doing this all week. So just signing off, I'm Brian McCusker. I'm here with Gio Wright, and we will talk to you again.